Hey guys, what's going on? Lab TCG here. Today we're going to be looking at eBay sold listings of a few auctions from this week. Let's see what we get into. First up, we're going to be checking out the Pikachu illustration rare from Surging Sparks. We have a few sales on this one. We got one at 34. This was the high of the week. We have one at 23, and we have one at 3,100 as well in a PSA 10. Let's see what they go for raw. So it looks like the raw copies are about 500 on TCG Player. They are dropping just a little bit. They were in about the $600 range just a couple days ago, which was completely crazy. So now we're seeing them come down a little bit for near mint copies at about $500. Okay, sometimes you got to be careful. They do list Japanese at the top, so you might see it as a cheaper price, but you got to double check. But there are no Japanese here now, or you have to check how many sales they have. Next up, let's continue with the Surging Sparks and check out my favorite, the Latias EX from the set at $189 near mint. That's a little bit of a drop, about 20 bucks, 30 bucks from the all-time high, but still pretty high. $190, $189 for a near mint copy of Latias EX. Up, we're going to check out another popular one. We got the Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies, and we see a PSA 10 copy here from Australia at $1,400, but that seems a little bit low for today's market. I see another at $1,850 and $1,800, so it seems that the PSA 10 now is about $1,800 for the Umbreon VMAX. Just a couple months ago, I thought $1,200 was crazy, but it seems I'm proven wrong once again that demand will always outweigh all logic, and this is just one of those cards that everybody seems to want, and it'll just continue to go up. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on the price of the Umbreon. Next up, guys, we have a Grail, a massive one, PSA 10 Crystal Charizard from Skyridge. This thing is $17,899 for the full holo version. Just look at this card, guys. This is amazing. This is almost better than the Gold Stars. And here's a really cool one, guys. We have the Gengar and Mimikyu EX from the Sun and Moon era team up. This is one of my favorite arts ever of Gengar. I have good memories with this card. Me and my buddy, we were at Dollar Tree and we bought the whole entire box, the rest of the packs, and I pulled the Latios from my Dollar Tree packs, and he pulled this one, the Gengar Mimikyu. Mine graded a PSA 9, and I regret selling it every day because that was a great memory that I had. And this is when the PSA 9 copy was going for about 600 bucks. Now I think it's about 1,000 or 1,200 just raw for the Latios, but we have the Gengar Mimikyu selling for about $1,300 in its PSA 10 copy. And here we have everybody's favorite, the Charizard from 151, and this one sold for $589 in a PSA 10. I remember 2 months ago, before all the hype, you could have picked this up for about 300 to 350 bucks, and the raw ones were about $100, and now they're about $200. And 151, even though there's talks of reprints, this set is so popular that these will keep going up as long as the demand is there. So $589 for the PSA 10 copy of the Charizard EX from 151. Here we have another fan favorite. I see a lot of these in the vendor POV videos. It is the Charizard Poncho Pikachu selling for $5,500 in a BGS 10. Now let's check out what the other copies are selling for. And here's the shining version of Rayquaza, which is my personal favorite out of all of the Poncho Pikachus, selling for $3,750. And last but not least, for the Poncho Pikachus, we have a Black Label Charizard BGS 10. I would cry if I ever graded a card this nuts. $16,100. This is literally beautiful. I would not want to leave the house with this thing. I would probably have to sell this because I would be too nervous to even hold this thing. But beautiful card, Poncho Pikachu, $16,000. Let's go check out some booster boxes. First up, we have a Evolutions box selling for about $830. These are kind of stabilized for a while now. They've been around the $700 to $800 range, give or take. But the loose packs of these, they sell on stream for a lot of money. But I do think between $700 and $800 is about the going rate for an Evolutions box right now. Back then, nobody wanted these. I was buying them on sale for about $90 in 2019, the beginning of 2020, right before the boom. These were $90 boxes, and within like a 2-month time span, they shot up to $300, all the way to $700, and they just never came back down. But this is a fun set to rip, so I see why. And here's another box that ceases to amaze me. Evolving Skies, $900. If you're not holding these to have in your sealed collection and you want to rip one of these, I commend you, because I ripped so many of these release week, and I think I ripped about a whole case and I got maybe one alternate art. It was probably the worst rips I've ever had. Here is my antivirus that's expired that I'm not renewing. But $900, Evolving Skies, Evolving Cries. This booster box is so fun, but so deadly at the same time. Will they keep going up? Who knows? This was one of my favorite booster boxes to open. Tag Team GX, the Japanese booster. Guys, you have the chance at God packs out of these. You could get a whole entire pack full of tag team cards. That would be completely crazy. I used to buy these from a buddy of mine who was stationed in Japan, and he was able to get me boxes for retail, and I put them away. I had 4 or 5 of them, and it took me about 2 weeks before I said screw it and ripped them all. And now I'm crying because these booster boxes are between $380 and $420 respectively right now on eBay. And I wish I still had some of these sealed, so maybe one day if I have a bad day I could rip another one. But $415, Tag Team GX Japanese booster boxes, guys. And here we have my favorite booster box of all time. If I could only own one, it would be this one, the base set booster box, selling for a whopping $11,500. And this box looks pretty minty, guys. The corners are great. Somebody got a steal of a deal on this. At least I think so, because I've seen these recently sell for about $14,000, and in 2020 these were well over $20,000 booster boxes, and they're down about 50% or probably 60% from that time. And that's going to wrap up this one for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. LabTCG is out.